Well, the weather is warming up as we enjoy our weekend, and that means many of us are heading outdoors, including First Alert meteorologist Aaron Pickering, live at the Arizona Sonora Desert Museum tonight. Hi, Aaron.
Yeah, we're live at the Arizona Desert Museum, and we're live down here for a specific reason. We're joined with Stefan from the Desert Museum, and he's got a special guest with us today. I'm going to stay a little away from you today, Stefan. This is a rattlesnake, a poisonous rattlesnake. What kind of rattlesnake are we looking at here?
Well, this is one of our local rattlesnake. This is called a tiger rattlesnake. Gets his name because of the bands on the body, a little bit of an orange tinge on the side. So it can be found in all the foothills in the Tucson area.
It's in the foothills, so we could encounter this on our hikes. Now, is it more common to see the rattlesnakes this time of year, or is that just kind of a myth?
Well, you know, in Tucson, we like to say that the rattlesnake season is 12 months of the year. So even in January and February, you can encounter those snakes. But when the weather starts to warm up, like now, March, April, that's when the peak activity in rattlesnakes start to increase. So
it's using its tongue a lot. Now, what is it doing there?
Well, right now, it's picking up some information. When the snake is doing this, it's gathering little particles and bringing them inside the roof of the mouth. There's an organ called the Jacobson organ, and with that, the snake tastes and smells the air at the same time.
So he's smelling right now?
Basically, yes. Smelling with his tongue.
I hope he likes what he's smelling so he doesn't come after us. Ooh, he's starting to rattle a little bit there. All right, now we're going to show you First Alert Doppler Live, showing you those temperatures around. Stefan mentioned it is warming up, and it is going to get much warmer before we're all said and done. Right now, 77 degrees outside. Back out here live at the Desert Museum, we're showing you a tiger rattlesnake. This is what you might see in your backyard, especially if you're in the foothills. Of course, we're staying quite a ways away from it. We're going to talk to Stefan in just a moment on what to do if you encounter one of these in your backyard or if you're out hiking. That's all coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, that snake was looking at you with a curious look, Aaron. Be careful. Well, the Pima Animal Care Center...
Well, the sun shines out, and that means the snakes are out as well. We showed you a tiger snake earlier. This is a black-tailed rattlesnake. You can tell by the black right next to its tail. Stefan says, well, not too creative when it comes in the snake naming department. But we're going to talk to Stefan a little bit more about snakes and what to do when you encounter them. That's all coming up next. Good afternoon. I'm First Alert meteorologist Aaron Pickering, and what a beautiful afternoon it is. We're out live at the Desert Museum, and conditions couldn't be better. Very little wind, and the temperatures today just perfect. We're in the 80s, and we're joined with Stefan, and Stefan's been showing us a little bit in the way of snakes today. We'll talk to you more in just a moment, but first I want to show you your forecast overnight. We're going to be into the 70s at 8 o'clock, and as we go into the morning hours, it's going to be down to 53 degrees, so not too cold. It's been really chilly the last few evenings, but tonight, not too bad. 90 degrees, though, for your afternoon high. That's a good, 10 degrees over what we are right now in the city. 80 degrees currently at the Tucson airport. The dew point and relative humidity, both fairly low, so if you're going to spend any time outside, you're going to need to drink plenty of water. Already 90s right now in the western deserts. All of those temperatures heading for us in southern Arizona. For the most part, southern Arizona sitting in the 70s tonight. Spin in the atmosphere, still bringing snow, believe it or not, to Denver. They received 3 feet of snow today because of that storm that just doesn't want to let go. It's pushing off to the east, and what's going to take over for us is an area of high pressure that's sitting out in the Pacific Ocean. That's helping to push those storm clouds that you see well up into Canada, and that's where they're going to stay for the next 3 or 4 days. That means for us here in southern Arizona, we'll watch our temperatures go from the 80s to the 90s to near 100. Yeah, we're talking about triple digits already here. Around the rest of the country, though, they are not seeing triple digits, but 70s and 80s, so not too bad. 77 degrees right now in Raleigh, 72 for your temperature in New York City. Overnight tonight for us, we're going to be back into the 40s, so it is going to be a little chilly, not quite as cold as where we've been, but daytime highs, oh, if you like the heat, you're going to love this. We're going to be back up into the 80s, 87 degrees in Tubac, 83 in Patagonia. We'll see the 70s only in Bisbee in Cochise County, 76 degrees there. But look at this. We're pushing 90 degrees in the city of Tucson, 88 in Sahuarita, 87 in Vail. Over the next 7 days, we'll watch those temperatures climb even higher, up to 98 degrees. Hot conditions on Tuesday, possible dry thunderstorms over the mountaintops. We're going to be watching that closely. It all depends on whether or not some moisture moves into our area Tuesday night into Wednesday. Back out here live at the Desert Museum, we saw the black-tailed rattlesnake earlier, and Stefan, you have it out again. And our photographer is going to take a quick step back here. If you see one of these out on the trailhead, what do you do?
Well, you know, it's very important to stay calm, whether it's, you know, until you know what snake it is, and even if it is not a venomous snake, you want to remain calm. You don't want to be jumping around, and you can cause yourself a lot of harm. So.
Now, I have heard that if you see a large snake, and if it bites you, that's not as bad as a small, young snake. Is that true?
You know, we've heard this myth often and often, and I call it a myth because in reality, you know, the larger snakes have more venom, which can cause more trouble. The smaller snake are just smaller volume of venom, and overall it's less dangerous.
So how do you identify, like this particular snake is pretty easily identifiable because it has the black tail, but say you run into a western diamondback, what's some of the features on that snake that...
You know, looking at rattlesnake, when you really want to know which one it is, it's very similar to bird watching. So you need to educate yourself. There's field guides out there that will give you point to look at and everything. But if you're just concerned about encountering a snake that's dangerous to you, Arizona is a very simple state for that. You look at the back end of the snake. Don't focus on the shape of the heads or the pupil or all that. This is way too complicated. Go to the back end. If it has a rattle, it is a rattlesnake and it's dangerous. If there's no rattle, if you have a long pointy tail, you have a snake that is not dangerous.
So if you encounter a rattlesnake on a trail, how fast can that snake catch up to you? Can you just walk around it?
Well, a snake, when it crawls, can only go about maybe 2 miles an hour. So as long as you take a wide berth, you will be okay. You won't be into the danger. These animals are not going to chase you down. They're going to, you know, if you get close, they might strike.
Thank goodness for that. I'm glad it's not going to chase me down. Stefan from the Desert Museum, we really appreciate your time and helping us learn a little bit about rattlesnakes. This one looks to be a little hungry. So, Teresa, we're going to send it back to you before we have any issues out here.
Aaron, just a while ago, he was checking you out. Are you sure you don't want to pick him up and give us a closer look?
You know, they were rattling earlier, and that was off camera, thank goodness. So, I think we're going to put it away and maybe give it some food.
Yeah, we'll leave him with the handler. He seems to know what he's doing. And thanks.
All right.
Yeah, that's still too close to me, just 2 feet away.
Yeah, I agree, though. I think Aaron should have maybe grabbed him, maybe so we got a closer look.
You know, the handler was right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very safe. Much braver than I would have been about 20 feet back.
Exactly.
Oh, gosh.